On October 2nd, the team departed Wichita at 9 a.m. in two Martin 404s that were dubbed the Black and Gold planes. 3,000 home fans. Despite the support, the team lost the game and also lost the next two away games against Texas A&M and West Texas State. They were optimistic, however, about their next game at Utah State.
What's up, guys, or what's up, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to get into the deaths of the Marshall football team that was killed in 1970 tragically by a plane crash. If you guys don't know, basically the Marshall University team flew to another place. I don't really know the whole story, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I do, but basically they had a black plane and a gold plane. They were not colored, black and gold. Basically they had backup players on one plane and the main players on one plane, and the main players were on the black plane, I think. I'm not exactly sure. They were either on the black or the gold one, and basically that plane ended up going down because it pretty much took a detour. Basically the pilot wanted to be nice, and they also wanted to make sure that the players, when they were flying over certain things, they were educating the players about, you know, outside the window, just like take a look, like basically like a tour. I think because this was their first time flying, but basically the plane was too low and didn't have enough time. I guess it was like stuck in like a canyon. It was near hills, I think in West Virginia. If you guys want to know the Marshall story, I think they have a movie out called I Am Marshall, I think. But basically the plane was too low and the pilot couldn't regain like access of the altitude quick enough, and basically took a left and the nose went straight down, and everybody died on the plane, I think, except for like 8 people or something like that. There was melted helmets everywhere. There were helmets that survived, but basically it was tragic for the university, for the football team, for their parents. There were also people on the plane, couples of, I don't know who the couples were, but basically whoever sold the most tickets, something like that. They were able to go on the trip as well, and they were on the plane, I think, where everybody got killed. I'm not exactly sure. That's just something that you guys would have to look up. I am really interested to see what the details are surrounding this crash, because there's rumors that water got into the cockpit, and when I was getting downloads, I was hearing air pressure, losing pressure, something about the altitude or something like that. I'm not into aviation, and I absolutely hate helicopters, and I do not like flying. Fun fact, but I just really wanted to get into the tarot. I wanted to see what they have to say about everything and regarding the circumstances around the situation and basically what was going on around that time frame. Like I said, this was in 1970, so it was like 18, 19 years before I was actually born, and it definitely hits home because I mentioned in my Kurt Cobain vlog that I grew up listening to rock. That's because of my Uncle Scotty. He was really young when I was a kid, so I looked up to him a lot, and he listened to rock. Onto this, it hits home because my pop-pop, which is his dad, my mom's dad, was a football coach, and football was his life. Basically everything in my grandparents' house, my Mimi and Pop-Up's house, revolved around football. I was a cheerleader. I was very involved with the football teams and all of that shit. Oh, I do cuss on my channel, so keep in mind if you are easily offended. I'm really trying to cut that shit out. I just cussed again because it's just an ugly habit that I really have, and I'm like working on that. Nobody's perfect. Like, people have to work on stuff every day of their life. It's a never-ending cycle. Basically, niggas ain't shit. So if you're offended, did I say that already? I'm like halfway asleep for real. So if you are easily offended, just click off. It's that simple. Basically right now I'm shuffling my cards, and I'm gonna tell you, like, off the energy that I've already pulled, it's going to be a very, very sad story. So let's get into this. So first card out, you got empathy. I'm picking up, like, I think some people just got on the plane and went on, like, against their better judgment. Like, they had intuition that they shouldn't have flown on this plane, but I mean, they had to get on it anyway. Okay, so we got breakthrough, mental clarity, success. This is where the pilot comes in. Both of the planes are side by side, basically on the same destination, but this plane decides to take a detour. I'm hearing turn for the worst, a tragic one. This was going to end in tragedy, and I don't know who the hell needs to hear this, but my spirit guides are saying wash your feet because they smell like Cheetos, and now I'm hearing jockstrap. So I think a lot of the players on this plane had jokes, you know what I'm saying? They were having fun while they were flying, and sadly this ended in a way that they were not expecting. I'm seeing the coaches, I'm seeing the team, like, they were very oriented. They saw each other as family, basically. They were just having a good old time on the plane, like anybody would be traveling. And I don't know how far from takeoff this happened, but it was really unexpected. Nurturing, practical, providing, you know, a parent. There was parents on this plane, there was couples on this plane. I'm seeing that, so they had to have been on this one. I'm hearing descending, confusion, information overload. Like I said, this was unexpected. So the plane was flying too low, and the captains, or, you know, is that what they call them? Pilots. Two pilots on the plane could not gain control over the plane. It was too late, because you can't just make moves out of nowhere in aviation. Like, there's rules to the shit. But they were experienced pilots and thought that they could pull it off, and they couldn't. Sadly, I was told to use the Nightmare Before Christmas deck because, you know, Jack Skeleton is my favorite. But you know what happened to Jack Skeleton when they shot down the sled? Jack, the Pumpkin King. What does it mean? What does it mean? Then you have patience. These pilots were disciplined. Like I said, they had plenty of experience to fly, and that day was going to be their last. Conflicts, disagreement, defeat, winning at all costs. So I don't know if the pilots were fighting on the right decision on what to do and what move they needed to make, but clearly they couldn't come to an agreement, and going left was the wrong choice because it went all the way left. Rest, relaxation, meditation. Some of them could have been listening to music. I don't know how the hell you would listen to music back then. I don't know if they had Walkmans or anything like that, little radios, portable radios. Some of them were sleeping when this was happening, and, you know, it came to a halt abruptly. Is that how you say it? Then you got the tower. I'm picking up throwing up, anxiety. I don't know how much time all this was taking place, but I'm picking up people wanting to throw up, like they couldn't handle the fact that they were about to die. They knew it. Like, can you really imagine that? I'm hearing the engine speed up. I'm hearing losing altitude, dropping pressure. I don't know if they came on the microphone and tried to say, like, everything was going to be okay, but it was too late. Challenge, competition, protection. These pilots did everything that they could in their power to save these people's lives. Limitless potential. These players had a bright future ahead of them. Again, conflict and disagreement. I'm picking up one of the pilots, you know, saying that flying so low and over these canyons, I don't know if they were canyons or hills or what, was not a good idea, and the other one didn't want to listen. Then you have love. You have the couples, you have the pilots, you have the players, the love for football, the love for flying, the love for, you know, each other is gone now. The Fool represents the journey, and this was going to be the last for everyone. Like I said, I don't know how long this was going on for, how long they were flying low for, but there is anxiety and a high amount of fear. They knew that this was coming. They knew their lives were basically over, and it was in someone else's hands. I'm hearing NFL, inspiration, potential, growth. Like, some of these players wanted to be in the NFL, and you guys know when you go to university after that, you can get into the big league, and that was a lot of their dreams, and it was shattered. This card does not go in this deck. I don't have the full deck of this card, so I know this is 7 is something. I just don't remember what it is. I think it's 7 of Pentacles. Hold on. Yes. So basically everyone aboard was committed to their goals, their dreams, their career paths, and careers. And I'm starting to get the same cards. They were putting in the work. The players were putting in the work. There was future planning, progress. I think, they had other games and shit coming up when they got back. Okay, and I don't know why they're zooming in on the propeller on the front of the plane. That is like weird. I would never fly in some shit like that. Curiosity, thirst for adventure. That's where this other pilot wants to go off route. Poor judgment, karma. When you go against your intuition and go against the grain, it doesn't always work in your favor. I'm hearing We Are Marshall. So that movie might be called We Are Marshall. I'm seeing emotionally balanced, passionate, diplomatic. I'm picking up the coaches or the coach. Merry Christmas, coach. Shout out to radio. That's my shit. Moon, deception. I don't really know if these pilots were in agreement of going off route. I don't really think they are, because I already said that they weren't. And, a room full of smoking mirrors, it's never what it looks like, and it was a bad idea. Bad investment. Hard work, productivity. I'm so tired. Routine, like I said, they had plenty of flying experience. This was a well-chartered company. When I get the 2 of Cups, for me, it's basically like the Lovers for me. I mean, everybody reads differently. But basically, obviously there was couples on this plane, there was pilots, there was the team. They had love for everything. Like, everybody had love for what they did on this plane. Again, repetitive cards. 5 of Pentacles. 5s are never good. Isolation, worry, lack mindset. All right, I'm hearing cockpit. I don't know if they're on the radio trying to, send out the message that basically like everything's going to be okay when it's really not. Pilots like to ensure their crew and everyone on the plane, even if they're going to die, that they're going to be okay, pretty much. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a damn flight attendant, but that's what I'm picking up. They're saying, aye, aye, Captain, when the ship goes down, you go with it. Then you got health. Everybody's life was in danger. Like I said, there was anxiety, fear, throwing up, worry. Shit was getting real. Everyone was going down. There was not enough time, and there was no way out of this. The Hanged Man, they were stuck. I'm hearing trapped to the demise. Who are we? We are Marshall. Again, another repetitive card. Multiple priorities, time management. Like I said, I don't know how long they were up in the air or how long they were trying to get out of this predicament, but there was not enough time. 1 minute felt like 1 hour. Again, 2 of Cups. The love that they had for everything was going out the window. I sense there's something in the wind. It feels like tragedies at hand. Death, this is the end. There are few that deny. At what I do, I am the best. For my talents are renowned far and wide. This pilot let his ego go to his head. And that cost everybody their lives. I excel without ever even trying. 10 of Cups. We are Marshall. We will be remembered, but not in the way that we wanted to be remembered. Their goals and their dreams, everything was taken away from them in an instant. Then you have purpose. What was the purpose of this? Why did they have to die? They came this far in life just to lose their dreams. Players, celebration, friendship. Like I said, they looked at each other and the coach like they were all a big family. They were a team. Inner truth, misuse of power, manipulation. Like I said, one pilot just wanted to fly the regular route and the other one wanted to be curious. You know what they say about curiosity. Curiosity killed the cat. putting deadly nightshade in the T again. I'm picking up the pilot couldn't see. I don't know if it was cloudy or something. I don't know what the hell a tetrometer is, or I don't know. It's some kind of meter in the cockpit, they're saying. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, but something with that. It wasn't reading correctly. Self-confidence, public recognition. The team was working their way up, but they're remembered basically by this tragedy. Sorry I can't talk right. I'm halfway asleep. Bruh, like I legit will overwork myself. Magician trickery, like this was not going as planned. New relationships, compassion, creativity. I don't know if anybody on the plane was in a new relationship or if they were never going to come back home to the lover, or if any of the players, got involved in a relationship and they were never going to come back. Skill development, like I said, this team lost a lot of games, but they were getting better and getting better. Like their confidence was going up. They were starting to, feel better as a team, and they just gave them, I'm seeing the pat on the back, like the men, you know what they do. They were proud of themselves. The eyes have vision. The heart, I don't know what that card just said. Hold on. A heart has vision, only eyes have sight. They loved what they did. They loved football. Queen of Wands, I'm picking up passionate. They were very passionate about the game, which you often see in football. Competitive and love at the same time. Movement, fast-paced change. This was a quick decision. Left, let's take it up, take it left, nose dive. They're saying couldn't gain altitude, and basically when that happens, the engines speed up. Like you have to make split decisions, and there wasn't enough time. Again, this is the third time I've seen this card, or the second time. I don't know. I've seen it a few. Celebration, joy, harmony. I don't know if they won this game. I'm feeling victorious. Even if they didn't, they loved each other as a team. They were just, I'm hearing brotherhood. Again, we have security. They were supposed to feel secure in this decision. The coach or whoever felt secure that he chose this chartered company, and basically everything ended in a handbasket straight to hell and out of the wrong decisions. Power and control in the wrong hands. Sally told Jack it was going to be a horrible idea, and he didn't want to listen. Everyone was disappointed, and there was no way to escape this tragedy. Negative thoughts, self-imposed restrictions of the mind. basically, like I said, this decision was made on impulse, not as in a team. Aim high, stars shine. I'm getting I don't know how to fly a plane, but I think you got to pull out the little control thing. You pull it out and then you push it up and turn it. I think that's what I'm seeing, and that's what he tried to do to make the plane go up to gain altitude, and it just was not going to happen, and things sped up and it took a left and straight into the ground it went. I think it went into a field or something. I'm hearing brace for impact. Justice, no one was gonna make it out alive, and then you got the Three of Wands once again. Lack of foresight. The thing is, he made the decision to fly low in that canyon or whatever, and that was never a good idea. He should have never went off a path, because this would have never happened. 10 of Pentacles, once again, everybody's hopes, everybody's dreams, the football career, the coaches' lives, their wives, lovers, everything was gone. Based off of lack of direction. The Hermit, everyone wanted to escape and they couldn't. They were stuck in this plane. They were isolated. Their death could have been avoided. Wheel of Fortune reverse. This is so freaking sad. I can't even imagine. Your whole life is just taken out of somebody's stupid, egoistic decision. It was the wrong choice. The Hierophant, the pilot went against his better judgment. He went against his intuition. When you don't follow your intuition, regardless of opinions or thoughts of others, it will never work in your favor. My card deck got screwed up, so that's why I'm sitting here taking so long, because I'm trying to flip the card around, but I turned the lights out and it's dark, and I'm trying to hurry up and get back on camera so I can see the card or whatever. That's why I flipped it around like that, because I wasn't sure. Well, you'll see when I flip it around. I wasn't sure if it was the right way. Forgive what you thought you saw. And this is the card that tripped me out, because he went against his better judgment. And like I said, the texture meter or whatever the hell that thing is wasn't working correctly. It wasn't showing them the pressure and the altitude. So he went against his intuition. The plane was lower than they thought. Two of Cups again. Like, bro, I cannot believe that how many times that this has popped out. And I'm hearing, "Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go." Strength, like I said, he did what he could, but it was no good. Mastery, skill. He thought he had enough skill, which he did, to pull this off, but he was too low to the ground. There wasn't enough time, and they couldn't reach the altitude. I will link that song in the description. It's from one of my favorite movies, American Graffiti, you know what I'm saying? And yes, my soul is extremely old. And come to think about it, I think somebody in American Graffiti at the end, it said that they died from a plane crash. Lack of patience, onset of illness. We have sick passengers, because this was a poor, irrational, immature decision that could have been avoided at all costs. But, you know, the pilot let his ego get the best of him. Like, bruh, I understand you have plenty of experience, but that was like a high jetliner or whatever. It was a big ass plane. It wasn't no little ass plane. Like, why were you that low in a bunch of canyons? That wasn't smart to begin with. Reminds me of Kobe Bryant's death. I'm not done.